Hello, hi, Shrestha. I see three people. So, Ravindranath, hello. Good evening, Ruhan. Thank you, Shrestha, for sharing the link. Yes, I just, some technical issues. I came live and then it got disconnected, so we had to start again. So, I'll just wait for one more minute before we start today's session, which is an extremely sensitive topic, and that is intimate partner violence. I am doing fine, Ruhan. Thank you so much for asking. So we'll just wait for one more minute before we start with the session, which is intimate partner violence, and it is an extremely sensitive topic. So that's why I'm just going to wait for about one more minute before we start. Thank you for your patience, everyone. I will not take much time, but yes, it is a little sensitive, today's topic. All right, I think we can start now. Warm welcome to those who are watching me live right now and those who would be watching me later. Welcome to Viropana, and this is the last live for this month, and it is this entire month was dedicated to trauma, and this particular live is on intimate partner violence, and it is sensitive because it happens. It's not that it is a very it's not unique, but it is very normal what I'm going to discuss today, but not too reported. Not too much reporting has been done when it comes to intimate partner violence. So when I shared the poster this morning, I have written that much happens behind the closed doors in the name of love. So intimate partner, as the name suggests, basically it refers to anybody who is either a spouse or romantic partner. So we are not discussing any kind of violence which includes anybody apart from romantic partners today. So intimate partner, like anybody with whom you share an intimate relationship. So intimate partner violence, or IPV as it is called, it is one of the most common types of trauma that both males and females go through when they are in their relationship. Not that every couple go through it, but there are many instances of IPV that keeps on happening around us behind the closed doors. And to be very honest, this does not happen as much as in the lower strata of the society as it happens in the upper or the middle class families. So it is nothing to do with poverty. It is nothing to do with the not too much to do with the financial status. It is much to do with the mentality, the upbringing, and the environmental factor in which we are staying, and the kind of values with which we have been brought up. Okay, so IPV, or intimate partner violence, means any kind of violence with respect to physical, emotional, psychological, and sexual. So these are the four major segments of the IPV. So first definitely is physical segment, the second is emotional, then the psychological distress because of that, the sexual. So these are the various aspects of the IPV. Now depending upon the severity, IPV can vary. So sometimes it can be one incident and it never happened. Sometimes it's a repeated defaulter. So, and why, how, why people tolerate that, why they don't say anything, what kind of impact IPV can have on your overall lifestyle, we will just discuss. We will look into all aspects of IPV today. Okay. So IPV, as I said, physical violence. Now when I say physical aggression or physical violence, it basically means when you're hitting somebody, right? So any kind of physical torture. It can be as simple or as normal like a slap. That is also physical violence. People think, a lot of couples I have seen when I try and counsel them, they said that yes, I have been beaten by my husband or beaten by my wife or beaten by my girlfriend, beaten by my boyfriend, and they think it is very normal, but it is actually not normal. This is basically a part of physical violence and it comes under IPV. Okay, the next one, which is the sexual violence, it is basically it under this you also have marital rape. Also, it is like forcing your partner to engage into any intimate activities without their consent. So that is the sexual aggression. So basically, not only intimate, like we are not talking about the actual act. It can be anything. It can be things like indulging into acts of voyeurism. It can be anything where the one person does not have the consent, the other person is forcing them to do certain intimate act or for any kind of pleasure activities. That is what is considered as sexual exploitation, that comes under IPV. The third one is definitely stalking. Stalking is very common nowadays when it comes to social media. So when it comes to stalking, that is also IPV, because a lot of partners I have seen that they stalk their ex, they stalk many people. As long as it is a healthy stalking, it is not impacting anybody, it still makes sense. But when you are stalking somebody with the impact of creating trouble in their life, like taking their photographs and you doing all kind of Photoshop and then creating hell out of their lives, these also comes under IPV. And the fourth one is the psychological aggression. Of course, if somebody is going through constant constant violence, constant exploitation, if somebody is constantly being manipulated with respect to their physical activities, with respect to torture, definitely it impacts a person's psychological stability, and that can lead to various impacts like depression, anxiety, stress, trauma, phobia, various things like that. Okay, now people might think, there are a couple of statistics that I would like to read out. About 1 in 4 women and 1 in 10 men have experienced sexual violence when it comes to their IPV or intimate partner relationship. Physical violence or stalking by an intimate partner is something which is very common when it comes to both males and females. Over 43 million women and 38 million men have experienced psychological aggression by an intimate partner in their lifetime. So just imagine 43 million and 38 million. So even if I am not considering male and female separately, so if we just add it on, it is more than 80 million. So 80 million people across the world are suffering from IPV, yet it is the most underreported. Because IPV, you don't have any, unless it's a physical assault where you can show marks or anything, you really don't have any, what should I say, you don't really have any anything to prove that you have been subject to violence. So, and that because of which there are a lot of people who keeps on accepting that kind of a behavior from their partner for over a long period of time, because they think that nobody will believe them. That is one of the reasons. There of course are other reasons which we'll talk about also. Now the question is, not everybody indulges in IPV. Not everybody indulges in creating violence with respect to their partner. So why there are certain group of people who are always into or who indulges into such kind of an act? The first thing is, this is also common in terms of young couples, and that is primarily the impact of internet, web series, what they have seen, the wrong things or role modeling that they are picking up. That is one reason. The second thing is definitely lower level of education. Third thing is the fitting into the so-called societal model of patriarchal and matriarchal relationship. So it is not that when I say patriarchal and matriarchal, so it is basically two sides. First side, when I talk about from the women's side, so there are certain men who feel that like this they would like to show their dominance over the weaker sex. But when it comes to women, when they do that on men, it is like as a revolt. It's like it's kind of an achievement, or this is how that they are trying to give answers to somebody. So in both the cases, it's incorrect, and they are trying to fit into certain assumptions, certain role models that they have, which because of which they indulge in IPV. The next one is of course, substance abuse. Substance abuse is one major reason. Many people who, when they are drunk, when they are under the influence of any kind of substance, they don't know what they are doing and they indulge in all this kind of an activity. Then you have personality disorder. There are some people who have personality disorder like narcissist personality. If you agree with them, everything is okay. If you don't agree with them, they start behaving, they start howling at you. And I'm just giving one example, narcissist. It's not that only narcissists will do. Paranoid personality disorder people will also indulge in some kind of activities like that, right? So people who are going through paranoid personality, like they are very afraid of losing control. So in order to keep control, they try to be the dominant one, and they can just do anything in front of anybody. I have seen couples hitting each other in a public place, and when you talk to that person, you get to know that the person is suffering from insecurity. So it comes from personality disorders too. Next is acceptance of violence. That means they think it is okay to have violence in a relationship. Like, what's the harm? I mean, Mirzapur has it, Gangs of Wasseypur showed that. So it's very normal. Bollywood is showing it, our web series are showing it. So what's the point? What's the harm in doing this? So incorrect exposure, incorrect role modeling. Next thing is past history of abusive partners. Sometimes when the person has gone through abusive relationships in the past, it becomes like, you know, when they go into a next relationship, instead of, if they have not healed from their past relationship, they tend to kind of dump all of that emotion onto their current relationship, and then it becomes very abusive when it comes to all aspects, like not only physical, if psychological, sexual, everything. The next one is, if somebody has gone through sexual abuse during their childhood, that trauma, if it is not healed, the person can indulge in IPV. Next, conflict or dissatisfaction in relationship. When they are dissatisfied with their partners, with anything, with the entire situation, with their relationship, people tend to take out their frustration with respect to, you know, indulging in any kind of violence, indulging in any kind of aggression, things like that, right? Now, another one is economic stress. Sometimes when you are going through great financial crisis, it's like kind of a defense mechanism which we call displacement. So when you know that you are not able to help with one aspect, you use displacement as a technique to dump your anger, your emotions, your incapabilities by indulging in any kind of violence on the partner. Next is disparity in education. So if there is a disparity in the education between both the partners, that can also, like one is absolutely lowly educated and the other person is extremely highly educated, that can actually lead to IPV. And finally, as I said, the broad acceptance that it's okay, ek baar maari diya to kya farak padta hai, it's okay aur nahi hoga. That this thing of making it extremely, it's okay, chalta hai. This chalta hai wala attitude is a big reason behind IPV, right? So the next question that might come up now is, if these are my causes of IPV, why don't people, when people are constantly going through this violence, why don't they come out of such an abusive relationship? Why don't they do that? One is definitely society. Log kya kahenge. Second thing is financial reason. If the other person is not financially independent, sometimes they tend to tolerate it because at least they have a chat and they have the security. So in terms of security, they are compromising with their self-respect and self-love. Third, of course, their self-worth is very poor. So they don't know what is violence and how much they should take, right? Next is fear of retaliation. So if they're afraid that if they say anything, and if they kind of, there is a retaliation from others, they don't know how to handle that, right? And this stigma that if I come out of relationship, what will people say? Another aspect is, it's like kind of a balance sheet. If I am leaving this partner, along with this I will also be leaving so many things. Am I ready to leave those things, those profitable things too, or should I just in order to maintain those profitable things, or those things which I find very dear to my heart, because of those things I should stay in an abusive relationship? So this Excel sheet thing that is going on in our head, that also stops somebody from taking action. And of course this idea that मेरा प्यार सब कुछ change कर देगा, love will change everything, those Bollywood movie thing, and then they keep on giving their 200%, out of which only 2% cases may actually the person change, the rest 98% the people become aggressive with every passing day. So nothing happens, and the person just becomes frustrated at the end of the day, right? So these are the reasons why a person does not leave a partner in their abusive relationship. Now the thing is, what is the consequence? The consequence is about 35% of female IPV survivors and about 11% of male IPV survivors, they experience some kind of cardiac problems, physical injury, psychological distress, and trauma and PTSD when they are going through this kind of violence and aggression day in day out in their relationship, right? So and also when they have been subjected to such a long term violence and abuse, they themselves become the perpetrator in some cases. They themselves don't know what to do. Not that everybody does that. Sometimes people are able to break away from it because they understand their worth, that they should not be taking anything more from that. But sometimes they themselves become the perpetrator, and this vicious cycle keeps on continuing. Then if one person is violent, then the other person becomes addicted to some kind of substances to get rid of that pain, that so-called ideology that थोड़ी देर के लिए तो सब भुला देता है, that kind of thing. Then they suffer from poor self-esteem, they suffer from extreme the personality issues. They don't know, there is a sudden change in their mood swings, like sometimes they are fine, sometimes they are not. This swift change, this thing keeps on happening with them. And of course PTSD and all that I spoke about. And they also tend to engage in unsafe sexual behavior, right? So apart from this, IPV in terms of women, it can lead to a lot of reproductive issue. So sometimes IPV can lead to abortion, miscarriage, then it can create issues in the entire reproductive system of women when it is being a forceful sexual relationship being established with them, right? Premature labor and birth, stillbirth, these are also the issues if the person has been subjected to IPV when they are pregnant or when they are going through their period of pregnancy, okay? Sometimes IPV can also lead to, when it goes out of hand, it can also lead to murder, it can lead to suicide, and it has a terrible impact on children. Now sometimes mothers or fathers, they feel they will continue for in the sake of their children, but when the children see that this is the atmosphere in their home, they are the one that are impacted the most, because they are just going to continue with the legacy. Either they will be survivors of trauma or they will be perpetrators for violence. But it is not that something like this will continue to happen in front of me and nothing will affect me. It doesn't work like that. So it's just like this, the legacy of the kings and queens, it just keeps on going on like that. Okay. So it is very important that when you see these red flags in your relationships, don't consider that one time affair or twice it has happened or things like that. No, when you see red flags, consider it as red flag. Don't consider that ek baar hua fir se nahi hoga. It doesn't work like that. Next is, it is very important to understand what's your self-esteem and what's your self-worth, because although it is great to keep others first, but it is extremely important to keep yourself the most important, because unless you know how much worth you are how much love or how much care you're worthy of, people would not know that too. Okay. Next is you need to have an alternate. Yeah, exactly. So Didi, I can share your live? Yes, Ruhan, please share, no problem, please share my live. Next is financial independence. It is important. Okay, do everything in today's world. It is extremely important to have your financial independence, because most of the people are stuck in an abusive relationship because of money. They don't know how to take care of their money properly. I can bet, if people have proper financial independence, and if still they are staying back, the only reason they are staying back in that relationship is because there is some vested interest, there is some secondary gain happening for them. So, no human being is on the planet would do something like, I have emotional, economic independence, I don't have any vested interest, but I'm just continuing it because just like that. Nobody will do that. Everybody has some secondary gain happening out of it. So you need to know what is your priority. Is your self-esteem, self-worth more priority? If your mental peace, your physical security is more important than staying in an abusive relationship, which is not serving just because of the society. Okay. At the end of the day, the society will only speak for a few days, and then they will just kind of divert their attention to some other news. You remember this, because sometimes a lot of people feel that log kya kahenge, and log will kahenge. You do something, then also they will kahenge. If they don't do something, then also they will kahenge. So it is important, what is important for you, to keep that as a priority. Know your rights. When it comes to violence, know your rights. All this what we had discussed today, IPV, the 4 segments, all are actually comes under legal protection rights. So you need to know what are your rights, how much you should take, and what legal actions you can take against the partner. And if it's a physical violence that constantly is happening, then it is extremely important for you to have your safety numbers in hand, the police custody numbers, the legal numbers hand, so that if anything goes wrong, or some kind of a support network, you should have some safety numbers in hand, so that if anything goes wrong, you can call someone and you can just help, like something can be done immediately, right? Next is if this is about and of course build a support network. Sometimes a lot of people, another aspect of IPV is they try to cut that people off from everybody. One major aspect of psychological aggression of IPV is, let's say I am going through an IPV, my partner would try to cut me off from my friends, from my family, from everybody, so that I become isolated, I become alone. If I am alone, then I would only be dependent on that person, then you are breaking my stamina, you are breaking my support system. So don't let that happen. Keep your support system open. You are in a relationship, you are not in an imprisonment that you will stay in a cage. So it is very important to have your support network, so that if anything goes wrong, if you cannot see the red flags, there should be people around you who can tell you that these are red flags. So open your eyes and acknowledge these red flags, right? And if somebody has already gone through violence, then it is actually a part of depression and trauma. Then of course, if you think you are not able to cope with it, and because of that, if you are going into a next relationship, you are going to do the emotional dumping, it is best to take professional help. So if somebody is going through trauma and depression, there are a host of things that can be done, like hypnotherapy, EMDR, CBT, then there are relaxation techniques, then family therapy, etc. Because if you don't heal from what has hurt you, you will bleed on people who did not cut you. On this note, that is all from me today about IPV. Please feel free to write your comments in the comment section once this video is posted. If you have any question, I would be happy to answer. Feel free to share this live. We might be able to reach out to those people who really need to listen to what they are going through is not okay. And it is okay to get out of an abusive relationship. Okay. So take care everyone. Thank you everyone for your time. Bye-bye.